Hey, you possum peeps! Today is Friday, September 20th, 2024, and you're watching the Weekly Paw. Hi, my name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the editor-in-chief and co-publisher of Pet Lifestyles magazine. Now, I know it's been a hot minute since we've had an episode. It's been a few weeks. Unfortunately, as most of you know, I have a severe torn rotator and bicep, which has caused some significant medical issues in the last month. Now, I was supposed to have my surgery today, but NYU Langone completely mismanaged both my case and my care. So I now have to start all over again at Mount Sinai. Little piece of advice for you folks: if you live in New York City, avoid NYU Langone at all costs. Terrible hospital. Terrible, terrible medical care. Oi, nothing is ever easy anymore. Anyway, on to the news. Today, our episode is going to be a little different. The majority of this episode, in fact, is going to be one giant Furry Friday segment. Why? Because the Pet Lifestyles magazine Adoption Edition is out. Now check this out. That's right, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers, and his wife Bessy are on the cover of our Adoption Edition for the founding of their Gatto Pups and Friends Senior Dog Rescue. You know, it takes a special kind of human to rescue senior dogs. There's a lot involved in it, in their care, in their guidance, the whole thing. You got to read the story to understand what I'm talking about, but I do have to tell you, in the interest of full disclosure, Joe is an old friend and someone I have worked with in the animal adoption and advocacy spaces for a long time. Joe used to co-MC events with me for the advocacy that Kylie and I started, Rock 'em Rawhide, which helped to change the face of adoption. Bessy was a Rock 'em Rawhide roadie, a volunteer, and they've both gone on to volunteer and do events and things for other organizations over the last number of years. Now, I want to show you, so we're clear as to what we're dealing with in terms of Joe and Bessy, and the hilarity that ensued in the interview for me to just get this story done. You got to check this clip out.
He was just like the cutest little thing, and I say cute. Most people won't say he's cute, but I thought he was the cutest thing. He had no teeth. He was 15. He had his tongue sticking out.
Her definition of cute is normally two eyes that are discolored, tongue hanging out, no teeth. It's a very loose term when she says cute.
Yeah.
And why seniors? Are you trying to say she's old, Joe? What's going on?
I'm trying to say she likes old, and I got lucky. I got lucky that she likes old. The more I fall apart, the better she thinks I am.
Yeah. It's so true. I mean,
my mom and dad, they're older now. They've retired. And when they got into retirement, my mom kept driving me crazy. I want to get a senior pup. No. Will you adopt me? I'm old. I'm falling apart.
Exactly.
I can't see anymore.
You have
what?
too many teeth.
Shit, I'm deaf.
Too many teeth.
I can pull them out. I can cut an appendage off. It's not working anyway. My rotator's torn.
There you go. That works.
So, yeah, the way that they care for their senior pups, their kids, and their friends is just the possumest thing. I can't say enough nice things about Joe and Bessy. They're just an amazing, very sweet, kind, and incredible couple. So we love you guys, and thank you for everything that you do for our forever friends. The Adoption Edition is lovingly sponsored by our pack mates at Best Friends Animal Society. Now, look, I get emails from our viewers, listeners, and readers all the time about how great Best Friends is, how much you all love hearing about them, and things like that. Well, guess what? I love talking about them, especially the possum and intrepid Julie Castle, CEO of Best Friends, who appeared on the cover of last year's Adoption Edition. Now, we've come a long way in just a year, folks, going from 425,000 readers to averaging over 500,000 per issue now. And with Joe and Bessy Gatto on the cover, we are truly excited at how perfect this edition came out. So let's take this moment and talk a little bit about Best Friends Animal Society. In the adoption edition, as you can see on your screen, you're going to note that there are several stories that are either about best friends or includes them. And the first is, and this is extremely important, why the Best Friends Network is so important. Now, you've heard the phrase, it takes a village, right? Well, yes, it often referred to the notion of it takes a village to rear a child. Well, Best Friends Network is the proverbial village as it relates to live release rates and getting as many of our forever ones into loving and responsible homes. The Best Friends Network comprises public and private shelters, rescue groups, spay-neuter clinics, and organizations and other animal welfare groups across all 50 states. They provide resources to network partners so that those partners, they're resources that those partners would otherwise not have access to. Now, whether you're talking about veterinary care or larger population bases to promote adoptables to, and more. The Best Friends Network is so important, it is so vital, because it gives everyone equal footing, and it helps everyone to get more animals into loving and responsible homes. Best Friends is also, obviously, mentioned in the organizations on the ground story, which you see on your screen. It's a listing of shelters and rescue organizations you can adopt from, foster and volunteer for, as well as donate to. And lastly, we featured Best Friends Animal Society's most recent promotional efforts to raise awareness about the need for adoptions called the Bring Love Home campaign. Now, I talked about Bring Love Home, the launch of that campaign in Times Square a couple of months ago, but this is the furtherance of that campaign in order to keep raising that level of awareness to achieve their No-Kill Nation goal by 2025. Now, in the product story you're seeing on your screen, we cover everything from Dr. Fossum's Pet Care Rejuvenation to the Pawsomist Blazer Programmable Dog Feeder by Simple Pets to these appallable blankets from Lesueur. And we've talked about this before, but we also featured Columbus, Ohio-based fan favorite sports apparel company Homage and their push to honor the late Cleveland Browns mascot, Swagger Jr., best known as SJ, with an All Dogs Go to Heaven collection. Now, the beloved Bull Mastiff mascot passed away from cancer in early July at the age of 5. And a portion of the proceeds from the sales of All Dogs Go to Heaven collection will benefit Cuyahoga County Animal Shelter. I want to also give a very quick special thanks to Julie Mathis at the Crooks Group. I've said this before, for both the pitch and the t-shirt and the information. It's a phenomenal program put on by Homage. Love what they're doing with our dear friends at the Cleveland Browns. So God rest Swagger Jr., and thank you for all that you did for our forever friends. Okay, also, in this adoption edition, we have profiles on folks who are making a difference in the rescue community, such as Julie Kelly of Let's Be Smart, which stands for Successfully Managing Animal Rights Today. You know, I keep talking with my left hand, and it's killing me. It's not fun doing this, guys. Also in the adoption edition, in terms of profiles, is Solid Gold's 50th anniversary. Solid Gold Food, phenomenal brand, unbelievable quality, great brand to try out. Read that story to learn a little bit more about their history and some of the things they have done to help the community. We also have a special by my friend Alyssa Panitz about MASH star Loretta Swit and her Sweetheart brand of books and art that helps to not only promote adoption, but also donate funds to organizations. Alyssa also did a divorce story, because as you know, she is the world's best divorce journalist, and she often likes talking about, you know, the issues related to divorce and what happens with the pet. What do you do with the dog? What do you do with the cat? What do you do with the rabbit? And how does that work from a visitation perspective or a custodial perspective? So check that story out in this issue. Then we also have a new feature that's going to be in every issue and covers the top 5 celebrities that support animal advocacy and rescue. This month, we talk about #1 radio personality Elvis Duran of iHeartRadio's national Elvis Duran in the Morning show, who's been supporting animal rescues for decades. He also sat on the board of Rock 'em Rawhide. Ricky Gervais, who lends his hilarity to rescue and shelter organizations and spends an awful lot of time promoting adoptables. I mean, the man is phenomenal. He is the possumest out there. And I love talking about Ricky because, frankly, he's just so damn funny. And he just does such a great job helping our forever ones. Then you have Selena Gomez, who's been an animal advocate since she first started in Hollywood. Kelly Giddish, who's rumored to be returning to Law & Order Special Victims Unit this season alongside fellow animal advocates Mariska Hargitay and Ice-T. And finally, you've got Beth Stern, who's been a force in rescue and advocacy for many decades, alongside her husband, shock jock Howard Stern. Finally, in this edition is also a story about a book called Happy Comes Home, a feline love story, and that's by Stephen Quant. Now, you may have heard this name before in Pet Lifestyles magazine, as he has written a few articles for us in the last year. Well, I can tell you, Stephen Quant is a nationally recognized feline expert for his perfect work, and it's really feline behavior expertise, which is a very difficult path to walk. Understanding feline behavior, understanding idiosyncrasies, how they interact with each other, their behaviors, their habits, their patterns, and how they interact with humans. It's not the simplest thing in the world, okay? Dogs are a lot easier in that respect. So I have a lot of respect for Stephen. As a matter of fact, Stephen works with one of our PAC-mate organizations, Animal Care Centers in New York City, to help their feline adopters adjust properly to having a new forever one, so as to ensure that ACC's return rate stays low. Well, we were so impressed with Stephen's writing, and frankly, his vast knowledge of feline behavior, that I am proud to announce today, Stephen Quant has joined Pet Lifestyles magazine as our official cat expert. Having Stephen as part of our pack, alongside folks like Kate Perry of Kate Perry Dog Training and Daycare Center, who is our official dog training partner, allows us to help you get more out of your relationship with your forever one. And it also provides our readers and viewers with some incredible tips and tricks to manage that perfect relationship. Now, speaking of Kate Perry, as I told you, I think I said this a few episodes ago, we helped Kate open her Kate Perry Dog Training and Daycare Center in Manhattan's Chelsea neighborhood. So look for a story about that in the adoption edition, as well as her tips and tricks for dogs for the fall, or as I like to call it, harvest season. Now, there's also a story about Zeophil, which is, I mean, this stuff, it's basically looking out for dangers related to pet deodorizers. As you can see on your screen, this product, or this brand of products, is just so clean, so amazing, and does the most awesome job. So, we'll talk a little more about Zeophil in another episode, because we got a lot more to get through as we go through the adoption edition. Now, as I've said recently, this is outside of the adoption edition, but this is incredibly important because it has to do with the future of our nation. As I've said recently, we normally don't talk politics on the Weekly Paw. However, that policy is suspended for the next couple of months. Yeah, I know, the puns just keep coming. So why am I suspending this? Because we have two very cool and interesting campaigns for PAWtus this year. 9 Lives' Morris the Cat and Chowder the Bulldog. Now, we've talked about this before. I got to give them equal time, just as we do with human candidates in the media. And we recently spent a lot of time talking about Morris. Well, today I'm going to talk about Chowder the Bulldog, who's an independent who wants to help the biggest and best animal advocacy and rescue in the country, Best Friends Animal Society. So, let's talk Chowder after you watch this video.
In a world full of ordinary leaders, one bulldog is carving his own path. Meet Chowder, the only candidate who can kickflip his way to the Oval Office. This isn't just any bulldog. Chowder is a skateboarding, snowboarding, and skimboarding sensation. His platform? Dog treats for all. Because why should humans have all the snacks? Chowder dreams of a nation where we all get the zoomies, followed by belly rubs. But Chowder's not just about the fun and games. He's on a mission to make sure every pet finds a loving home. No dog left behind, no cat forgotten. He's not just performing tricks. He's working with Best Friends Animal Society to help pets in need of families. So, hop on board and roll into a brighter, more positive future with Chowder the Bulldog. Skateboards, snacks, and smiles for all.
This is Chowder, and I approve this campaign message.
Chowder's key campaign initiative is a focus on finding a loving home for every pet. He will be driving awareness to pet adoptions and raising money for our pack mates at Best Friends Animal Society. Now, according to Best Friends, and we've said this before, 7 million Americans will bring home a cat or a dog this year. If just 6% more of them adopted instead of buying their new pet, the country would become no-kill automatically. Remember, Julie Castle set the goal for a no-kill nation by 2025 for a reason, and a lot of that is in the background on that is in the adoption edition for you to check out on your own. But the fact that this country could become no-kill if just 6% of folks stopped buying their pets and started adopting them. That is a very, very powerful statement. So Chowder had this to say about his campaign. I have a bone to pick. Ever since I was a young pup in my kennel, I've dreamed of a country where everyone, pets and humans alike, could reach their fullest potential. I've sat on the sidelines of the dog park long enough, but now is the right time. The nation needs a true watchdog. I'm ready to go. Check out the URL on your screen to learn more about just how perfect and brilliant Chowder really is. And he is giving Morris a run for his money. But I have noticed something. Both of our candidates for POTUS are male. I think they need a female VP. And that's got to be our own Priorio. All right, so next week, what we're going to do is we're going to focus a little more on both candidates' platform. And of course, have some fun while doing it. Now, before we get into TGI Furry, I want to just cover off on something very quickly because it comes up all the time. And people are always asking me for advice about pet memorials and how to properly honor your forever one who's crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. Best Friends Animal Society has a very sweet and pawsome way to celebrate your forever one's life. They do a special blessing at Angel's Rest in Utah, and the date is approaching. As a matter of fact, it's only a couple of days away. If you'd like your beloved pet's tribute to be shared in the final recording of the blessing at Angel's Rest, there's still time to create a memorial page. So, it requires a donation, but with that, you'll honor the life you shared with your best friend while helping homeless pets find families of their own. Your personalized memorial page can be shared on social media, allowing your friends and family to share their memories of your beloved forever one. Visitors to your memorial page will also have the chance to make a donation to the animals in remembrance of your pet. And all contributions will go straight to work helping dogs and cats in shelters around the country find loving and responsible homes. Now, the special Pet Memorial Month blessing is in person at Angel's Rest at Best Friends Animal Sanctuary on September 26th. So it's only 6 days away. It's at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. If you can attend in person, a recording of that blessing is going to be posted on Best Friends' YouTube channel and Facebook by October 10th. Now, if you'd like to have a pet honored in the September blessing, you only have 2 days. You've got to submit your memorial page by Sunday, September 22nd. Memorials submitted after September 22nd are going to be included in October's blessing. And if you want to participate, just visit the URL on your screen. Okay. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, welcome to this week's TGI Furry. This is the part of the episode where we show you a couple of memes we found throughout the week to hopefully end the episode with a smile or a laugh. And hopefully, I've been able to do just that. On a personal note, very quickly before we go, I gotta say, doing this edition, this is the second one we've had, okay? It hits me close to home for a whole lot of reasons. Because the notion of adopting, the notion of taking responsibility for another life that isn't your own blood, isn't your own family, is a very special and important one. And all of these animals, dogs, cats, bunnies, all of them, they end up in these facilities. They don't know why. They don't understand. But the more that you can do to help, the better. The more that you can do to get the word out about these adoptables, about these beautiful animals, the better off we all are as a country. So I implore you to please share this video or just tell your friends about local rescues and shelters. Look at the organizations on the ground and you'll understand exactly where I'm coming from with respect to how important adoption really is. Remember, as a pack is how we're going to make a difference, not on our own. So only together can we really, truly affect positive change. Out of time, guys. Have a awesome weekend. We'll see you next week.